why this was brilliant, and this was... Plot twist. Sometimes you love them, sometimes you hate them, for one reason or another. In this video, I'm going to discuss why the devil appearance in Black Clover was a great surprise, and Black Zetsu backstabbing Madara was really a bad idea, and a terrible way to introduce Kaguya, which was the biggest threat in the Naruto universe at the time, and a horrible way to wrap up the Naruto story. Before we start, what is plot twist? Well, according to the internet, a plot twist is a literally technique that introduces a radical change in the direction or expected outcome of the plot in a work of fiction. In this case, the devil showing up at the end of the reincarnation arc in Black Clover and the introduction of Kaguya in Naruto. While they are the same, why the devil twist was so much more accepted among the community than Kaguya? It's even called Black Zetsu done right. Plot twist is a double-edged sword. It can either completely destroy a story or bring it to the top. But those two are almost the same. Just how the Naruto one almost ruined the entire franchise. We need to look at the build-up and what led to it in the first place, and the circumstances behind it. Let's go back a little bit. It all started at the war arc, which was already considered boring due to it being dragged on and juggling way too many characters at the same time. Right until this guy got introduced. Madara Uchiha. Yes, this guy saved the entire war arc and made it for so many people right from the get-go. From the moment he got introduced, he started moving the entire story around him and demanded an incredible amount of a screen presence. He decimated the Shinobi Alliance, he made the 5 Kages look like jokes, he took down the Tail Beast while being blind, and at some point he killed Naruto and Sasuke right until they got the 6 Paths power. He is one of the few villains in anime who actually succeeded to complete his plan. Now, why I'm saying all of this? That's the whole point. He was the perfect guy to be the final boss. However, the main problem was how he was taken out. He literally got backstabbed by Black Zetsu. And when I mean literally, I mean that exactly how it happened. But why? Why this such a big deal? Because as we discussed before, this was the main candidate to be the final boss of the series, and he got taken out in the most unsatisfying way possible. And what comes next doesn't matter. Kaguya's appearance wasn't the main problem. The main issue is what led to it in the first place. The thing is, when you build up a villain or a character so much, there should be a payoff, a good way to wrap up the story arc you created, and a better send-off for the audience and people who followed the story for so long. And the backstab was not it. Madara's death left an unpleasant taste in the viewer's mouth. And while the cast was fighting Kaguya, the audience were still hung up on how Madara was taken out, because it was cut off. It felt like Madara's story was unfinished. This is very similar to what happened in the last season of Game of Thrones. Similar to Madara, the Night King was built up so much throughout the series, and there was so much foreshadowing on his confrontation with Jon Snow, but he got taken out in one episode without actually achieving anything, leaving his story arc alongside others, I don't wanna go into too many details, unfinished. But enough talk about Game of Thrones. Let's get back to what I was saying. Madara's death did not provide a payoff for the audience and left them with a sour taste in their mouth. That's why everybody was so upset. Not because of Kaguya, because of the way Madara was shafted and got taken out. Not only that, another plot twist appeared. Apparently, Black Zetsu manipulated the entire events of the show since part 1. Yeah, all these emotional moments, the ups and downs, all made by Black Zetsu, which was a huge slap on the face for everyone who was invested in these characters. Really? Black Zetsu? All of the struggles, the hurdles that the cast went through was all Black Zetsu? Come on, man. And it didn't stop here. Before that, we found out that Naruto and Sasuke are the reincarnation of Indra and Ashura, which take away the whole reason we like Naruto in the first place, because he was the underdog. As you can see, Kaguya's appearance was not the main issue. The problem is what came before it. Let's just think about it for a moment. Wouldn't it be much better if Black Zetsu was not the one who took out Madara, and this whole Black Zetsu did everything didn't happen, and Naruto and Sasuke still got their power-ups, but without the whole reincarnation nonsense? Instead, it goes like this. Madara's plan succeeded, the infinite Tsukuyomi completed, however, it will turn out to be a portal or something, I don't know, to summon Kaguya. Then Madara and Kaguya fights and she kills him. Or Madara can team up with the good guys against Kaguya. This might not be the best solution, I'm just spitballing here, but it would be certainly better than what happened. This way, Madara's arc will not be unfinished, leaving the audience scratching their head on what just happened, and this gives Kaguya an awesome introduction by taking out the big bad of the arc by her hands, or making an epic fight with Madara and the good guys on one side and Kaguya's at the other. And most importantly, this will not destroy the emotional impact of all what happened in the show, keeping everything in place. Now, let's flip the picture and see what happened in Black Clover. The quote-unquote Black Zetsu done right. There were like this huge group called the Midnight Sun, which was a constant threat for the Black Clover Kingdom throughout the series. And as the story progresses, we found out about their past and the motivation behind their actions and how they were slaughtered by humans. Yeah, they are elves. And now they wanna get revenge for what happened to them in the past. Anyway, in the arc climax, after the elves' plan succeeded, being their reincarnation, at the end of the arc, one of them had a sinister laugh. And out of nowhere, the devil appeared. He was manipulating the entire event behind the scene, as he was responsible for the human attack on the elves. Now, if you think about it, this is very similar to what Black Zetsu did. But why, just why this works so much better than the Black Zetsu twist? While both are very similar in the surface, a guy appeared out of nowhere, turning the entire event of the story upside down. While both are one of the elements of plot twist, however, the difference is in the build-up and the payoff and the way pieces was played out. What do I mean by this? Let's look at what happened for a moment. First, unlike Black Zetsu, the devil just manipulated the war between the elves and humans, not the entire life of every character in the show. He didn't do the entire I did all this bullshit, which doesn't make any sense. I'm looking at you, Aizen. This does not hurt the journey that we had with the characters, and does not take away the emotions we had for them along the way. Second, the main antagonists of the show, which are the elves in this case, still exist. They did not get outside of the picture like Madara did. They are still in the fight, baffled on what just happened to them, and still had a major role to play in the arc. Third, it just make more sense. It fits better. The devil manipulating the human to do bad things, it is a lot better concept than Black Zetsu, in my opinion. Finally, it didn't take the satisfaction of defeating the antagonist from the viewers and left it unfinished, like what happened with Madara. Instead, it redirected the attention from the elves by making them team up with the protagonist of the show against the new main threat of the story, being the devil. A lot of people think that the main problem with Naruto's ending is Kaguya's appearance. And as been said before, that is certainly not the case. Kaguya by no means is a bad character. It's just what happened before she showed up and what led to it in the first place and who she was replacing in the story. Introducing a new villain at the end of the story is very common technique. However, you have to do it right. And you have to ask yourself the question, is introducing another threat will make the story more interesting? Above all else, Naruto is a special case because Madara was the definition of the final boss and there was absolutely no need of replacing him. And if we compare that to Black Clover, the elves didn't play the role of the villains. They were more like the antagonist of the show. And when they got replaced by pure evil. Plot twists are very risky. They can make or break an entire story. So the writer has to be very careful before deciding to write them. And he has to do it right. And if it was up to me, I much rather have a good predictable ending that I saw from a mile away than one that doesn't make any sense, even if I didn't see it at all. Nonetheless, I would be lying if I said I don't enjoy a twist in the story. However, only when it's done properly, without ruining the story. And Black Clover managed to do that in a brilliant way. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to be notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching.